Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm meadsy69. Welcome back to the channel on update day. Yes, the update should be released today, but before we talk about the update, there is a lot of things happening in the update. There's a lot of buffs and a few nerfs, but the one thing we're going to be talking about is this update. The previous update, well, the update we're on now that we're just about to leave, is these two replays. Now, these two replays are probably by far the best two replays of the entire update. The best two replays of the month. And yes, we are going to watch two light tanks in action. One of them, the Batchat, and the others, the Vickers Light. Both games are from two amazing players. The Batchat we're going to talk about first. Now, fantastic. It's nice to see a good Batchat game because we rarely see them anymore. It's very rare we see a good light tank replay like we're about to see these games. So let's just get to the replays. So Loka, very good clan, one of the best in Europe. I'd say ranked top three, maybe even two, second. They are such a good clan, and the best thing about Loka, they've been around forever. Literally, those that don't know, Loka has been around since before my time. Aminette, the leader of GNA, my friend, she was actually the creator of Loka. So it's been a while. So Batchat. Where the Batchat's kind of been outdone by the Vickers and the Sheridan. Not many people really play the Batchat anymore, and when they do, they don't really do too well in the tank. But our guy here is about to show that you can still perform well in the Batchat, given the right team, the enemy, and obviously the player. It all depends on the player, on how they play the tank, how you perform in this tank. Now, Finn does absolutely amazing. He uses it like a light tank. He uses the mobility. He uses the clipper really, really well, and in the end, it really pays off for him. The targets that he goes for as well, the targets that he picks out and goes for, he goes for the most dangerous target, or the target he needs to go for, and ignores the other targets whilst he is going for that guy. So at the moment, you can see here, he's going for the Sheridan, not the Sheridan, the T92E1. He's very low hit points. Now, he doesn't really want to take care of this 60 TP yet because he wants to take care of the T92. But as soon as the T92 goes out of sight, he then tries to deal with the 60 TP. He's got 3 shots. He's got 3 free shots on him. He's not looking, and then the Emil can just go in and ram the rest of him. But at this moment in the game, it is a 3 versus 4. You can see he's still chasing this guy. He's going to use a bit of HE into the rear, and here comes the Jaegeru. So of course he's not going to stop there. He's just going to keep going. Now, a lot of people would actually go for this Jaegeru right now because he's got his back turned and it's an easy target, especially where he is. But he knows that the Jaegeru, even though the alpha of that Jaegeru is dangerous and massive, he's not really the biggest threat on the team. The biggest threat is these two guys here, the Bagetto and the Yo here. They are the biggest threats. The biggest threat is actually this Bagetto, and he's going for him and he's focusing him really, really well. Unfortunately, he does get a bounce there, but he now does bring him down to quite low hit points. Of course, the Jaegeru does take out the Emil to leave it now a 2 versus 3. Didn't really need to ram that dead tank. Didn't mean to, of course, but that could have got him shot a couple of times there. So he's going to go for this Yo now, but of course he gets one shot on the Yo, and then I love what he does here. He ignores the Yo and goes for the Bagetto. So now he's got the Bagetto down to a 1 shot. He does take a couple of shots from the Yo, and now it's a 1 versus 3, but the Bagetto is a 1 shot. So he's going to try his utmost to try and get rid of that guy. Yes, he does get a shot, but he gets rid of the most dangerous target, and then he can get the remaining 2 shells into this Yo. Now, he's on 590 hit points. He can potentially take 1 shot. I'm not quite sure what this gun they're using. I think he's using the 3 shell, and here comes the Jaegeru. So he gets out the way, he misses that shot, he baits that shot, and he gets rid of that Yo. Now, this in a minute is a very risky move. I love the fact that he was going for the tracks to keep him in position, and then he's just going around, and again, he's going for the tracks just to keep him in position. He does only have heat left, however, so he can't really shoot the tracks, and he's going to do less damage. But at this point in the game, he's on 7,500 damage, and now all he has to do is really use the mobility. The Jaegeru's not in the best of positions, but he's not in a great position for our guy Finn here, because to get around him, he has to go around all these buildings. Now, this was a very, very risky move that actually pays off. Just managed to get around there, and of course, he doesn't get quite that close to him, so he has to go around this building. But again, because of the mobility of the tank, he is able to get around, and he's going to get all 3 shells. He's going to bring him now down to a 1-shot, but as soon as he's a 1-shot, he's now no longer can get around. He just misses the opportunity to get around. He didn't want to risk it. He's on 9,000 damage, and at this point there's no point risking it. When he's winning on supremacy points, all he's got to do is just wait around, and eventually I'm sure the Jaegeru will make a mistake, because he's made a few mistakes into the positions that he's getting in. So at this point, he just needs to wait. He just needs to wait it out, reset his camo maybe, and now he can see that the Jaegeru is heading in towards B. There's his camo reset. He is now capping B, so he's going to try and use the mobility of this tank is to get around, and luckily he isn't quite looking, and he gets a shot on that bottom plate. Absolutely amazing game there, and it's nice to see a game like that in the back chat, because we rarely see them anymore. 9,273 damage. Lovely Kolobanov. 2,098 base XP. Crazy amount of base XP there, and a crazy amount of damage. And of course, that does go into the Hall of Fame. Next up, we have another pro clan and another pro player in another pro tank. We are watching Addicted Skiller. So Addicted, he's using the Vickers, the tier 10 Vickers. This is an all tier 10 battle, so there is no tier 9s, it is all tier 10. Now, it is Canal, and he's going to the right side, but because there is no mediums or light tanks on the enemy team, most likely he's going to come this side of the map on his own is very, very high. So he doesn't go far right, he goes to the middle here to spot anything that is coming this way. Now, this is absolutely perfect. Now, he does get lucky with the lineups. Of course, he does get lucky because he's the only light tank in the entire game. So he's able to get these side shots, and he's able not to be spotted. So this could have gone horribly wrong if the enemy team came this way, but you can just see him at the moment farming this damage without even being spotted. His team are there as well, so they are taking the attention of these guys, and now of course he's going to try and farm the Death Star, still not spotted, and he's on nearly 1,500 damage. So absolutely amazing play, and this is going to come down to the wire as well. So at the moment, he's just farming this damage. He's going to go for the HE. It does pay off there. So 2,400 damage. The Death Star is very, very low hit points. There goes the Super Conqueror on his team, so they are now a tank down. But look at all these free shots that he's got. He's got shots there on the top with the Foch. He's got shots in the middle, and no one here is battling him. Like, he's on his own. He has a free roam of the entire enemy team. He could just decide who he wants to go for, and no one's gonna stop him, because no one is here stopping him do what he wants to do. Because I mean, they're all heavy tanks and TDs. Of course, it's not their problem. They went the heavy route because there's more heavies. So he does get lucky with the lineups. Of course, he does get lucky. If there was another light tank, then he probably definitely wouldn't have done the damage he did, because he would have lost. He might have beat the light tank if it was just him and the light tank coming this way, but he would have lost hit points. So he's still unspotted, and he's still getting all of this damage. He's behind the T-57 here. He's going to get some nice HE shells into him, but of course he wants to focus these big guns as well, but he needs to focus on tanks that he can actually focus on that are quite easy to get. So he's just focusing on the T-57 for now, because he has some nice juicy HE rounds into him. And again, he's up to 4.6k damage at this point, and he's still not been spotted. So now he is going to focus on this Jaegeru. Nice high roll there at 375, brings him down now to a 1-shot. So of course he is going to focus him. Not an easy shot by all means, but he still manages to get the kill, and now he's on just over 5k damage, and he's still full hit points, and he still hasn't been spotted. But unfortunately, his team haven't managed to to capitalize on him bringing these hit points low. Of course, he's going to now go for the lower hit point tank there, and he's going to then go for the next lower hit point tank, which is the Foch. So again, just like the first game, picking out his targets was an absolute crucial part of these battles. So he does get a nice bounce there from this Foch. He's just going to rush into this guy. He does get back, he does miss that shot. But again, with the mobility, you can just get around, and it can just nice and easy HE shell into him. And just with 19 hit points left, this Foch is just trying to get the hell out of there, but you can't run away from a Vickers Sunshine. And before you know it, it's now a 3 versus 2. And again, he has the rear of these tanks. There is a full hit point IS-7 now, and fair play to that Foch. GG Vickers. GG. It's nice to see that them kind of comments every now and again instead of the rage that you usually get. So it is now a 2 versus 2, but of course the grill is full hit points, but the hit points don't last long when you're in a grill, especially when you have either an E100 or a IS-7 looking at you. And of course the IS-7 gets a lovely ram kill into him. So now it's just our guy here versus a full hit point IS-7, but he can use the mobility now. The IS-7 isn't the easiest tanks to circle. Now the first thing this IS-7 should be doing is just going straight up to this hill. Don't be turning in the middle here, because you're just making it easy. But the IS-7, the tank itself, is just going to do IS-7 things, you know. It's going to be troll, and he's going to get a bounce. Now this was actually quite a nice shot there. I didn't think he would get that shot, so he does have to be careful, because it's still a lot of hit points to go, and it's only going to take the IS-7 around maybe 3, possibly 4 shots to deal with this Vickers. And now he's actually getting into the position he should have got in at the very start of this 1 versus 1 battle. And of course our guy Addicted knows that he can't really do much now, so he's just going to run away. He has time, he has the mobility of this thing so he's just going to capitalize on that and use that mobility. He see the shot there from the IS-7, so he doesn't hang around. He's just going to get straight back into it, get back circling in him. He knows that he can circle him, and again, when he starts turning his turret, he does manage to get up here. Now the IS-7 fluffs his shot again, and that miss there was very important, because now our guy can just get around him. He brings him down to a 1 shot. He's still got 900 hit points, so he can potentially take 2 shots, and there's still a minute and a half left, but it is just all game over for this guy. Low roll there, but brings him now only down to 44 hit points. He still hasn't taken any more hit points away from him, and he can clear this IS-7. Absolutely brilliant game there. Perfect example of a light tank in action. I mean, you don't have to just spot. He was farming from distance, of course, but he got lucky, of course, with the lineups. But to get with 10,000 damage in a light tank, absolutely amazing. Of course, that is number 1 Hall of Fame, probably like the 3rd or 4th highest damage ever in the game. So thank you for uploading that to BlitzStars for me to steal. So I hope you enjoyed it, guys. I'm meadsy69. I'll catch you soon. Bye bye.